Hey folks, Sarbjeet Johal coming to you from Cisco Live 2026 from Las Vegas. I am sitting here with Eric Knipp of Cisco. Eric, give me your brief introduction of your role at Cisco and then we'll get into the discussion.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be with you today. So my name is Eric Knipp and I lead the CX Americas team here at Cisco. So that's responsibility for all of our support services and our professional services. Been with Cisco about 23 years and I've been in this role about 2.
That's great. 23 years is a long time.
Yeah,
So you're
a lot of change.
A lot of change.
Yeah.
So on the Cisco CX product line, shed some light on the latest announcement you have done, especially the Cisco IQ side of things.
Yeah, so I think it's more important that we frame this and you know what our philosophy is within CX. So at CX, our mission is to drive personalized, proactive, and predictive services for our customers. And so what that really means is understanding our customer better than they understand themselves and aligning services at the time our customer needs it. And so that's really the vision that informs IQ. So IQ is not a product, it's not a platform. Think of it as the delivery vehicle for all of our proactive and reactive services. And ultimately, it's going to become the launch pad for all the services that we deliver. And you know, you think about reactive services being like calling TAC and getting support, and then proactive services doing installation and you know, bug scrubs and you know, all those things. That line blurs. And ultimately it's just how do we serve the customer with what they need exactly when they need it through you know, an AI enabled and an Agentic enabled platform.
Cool, so it's sort of design time as well as run time.
Absolutely.
So facility, if you will. So that Cisco IQ is being rolled out at sort of all different product lines, not only the CX part, is that?
Correct, yeah, so IQ is available to any customer with any type of contract with CX, support services or professional services, and it covers the entire Cisco estate. So it's also important to note that IQ is built to help really be like a strategic engagement and enablement platform. It works very, very closely with Cisco Cloud Control. And the way I like to frame it up is IQ is that strategic asset and assessment tool set, whereas Cloud Control is going to be the day-to-day operations cockpit. So you're not going to go into IQ and configure a VLAN or turn on a security policy. What you are going to see is the strategic disposition of your estate, and ultimately it's going to give you proactive and reactive guidance as to how you should best maintain it.
Yeah, I believe that, correct me if I'm wrong, that IQ will point the users of IQ, right, to likes of MD files, like the skills files and stuff like that, which can be used in future to do things which agents will be doing.
Yeah, I'll give you a great example. So, you know, Cisco, like any other organization, we're constantly looking and seeing that there's potentially security vulnerabilities and things such as that. And this is going to be really important in a post-Mythos era, and I do want to talk a little bit about that as well. But right now, if we announce a P-cert, it is incumbent upon you as the user to go and look into your installed base and say, do I have that code version? Have I turned on that feature? It's very, very manual. It is very error prone, and it's kind of, you're the thing that's pulling that together. The assessment capability with an IQ lets me ingest that P-cert, interrogate the entirety of that asset base, and then specifically call out and know, yes, that particular router, because it has that version of code, that feature set turned on, and then proactive recommendations as to how best address that. And I can literally ask you questions like, if I'm vulnerable, what's the lowest version of code that I could upgrade to be able to change that and do that in natural language. So we think it's really going to be a game changer and really free up humans to move up the stack and do less data gathering and more strategic work.
All right, so you're talking about the security, and what has changed with the large language models exposing the security vulnerabilities, especially the one which came from Anthropic?
I mean, Mythos is a game changer, and again, what's really fascinating about Mythos is just how many vulnerabilities it found so quickly. I mean, we're talking about tens of thousands across every major operating system, every web browser, including Cisco. I think it found a 27-year-old FreeBSD vulnerability. I mean, so a lot of challenges there. But the other thing that it did that really is noteworthy is this idea of threat chaining, where I can take 3 small vulnerabilities and turn them into a big one. So it is a real concern. And again, every executive I've spoken to at my customers wants to know how we can help them. And I think it comes back to that exact conversation we were just having is, how do you really can't fix what you can't see.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you think about LDOS, you think about old equipment, you think out of date, that used to pose operational risk. Now it poses security risk. Yeah. And so helping our customers understand that estate, being able to dynamically identify where you're potentially vulnerable, and then to be able to launch proactive services to address that, patching, upgrading, or putting in compensating controls. That we're going to be able to do, as we mentioned earlier, agentically.
Oh, that's awesome. So, Eric, what other product lines under the CX sort of family you overlook through services? You
can think of the CX. I don't like the term product, but the offerings under 2 broad categories: support services, ultimately call TAC, right? Or ideally no longer call TAC because we'll use IQ for that.
Yes.
Or proactive services, which is really, or professional services, which is the plan, design, implement, and operationalization of customers' networks and customers' environments. So we have responsibility for both. And IQ, as I mentioned earlier, is the vehicle that we're going to use to deliver both the support and those professional services.
No, that's cool. So for that, you guys do like more of playbooks in which you can give it to your partners to deliver, or you guys do that yourself? Like how you extend your capability and capacity in the field?
It's a great question, great question. So again, ultimately, everything we do is going to be playbook driven. And to your point, yes. So my team covers a significant number of those customers, but we have, just in the Americas, over 68,000 customers. So our partners are critical to our success, and we're working with our partners to drive adoption of the IQ platform and give that as a vehicle for them to build their own value-added services on top of. So what ideally is we all have the same view of the customer, and then those things that our partners do really well. Again, implementation services, or again, not all environments are all Cisco. Integrating that into the other automation and other tool sets and the other vendor environments that our customers have.
And most of the environments are hybrid, right?
Absolutely.
So like working with AWS on one side, maybe Azure or Google Cloud, and then when you're troubleshooting, at some point you don't know if the problem is on the cloud side or your side, and so that goes into it. And on that note, actually, how are you collaborating with major technology stacks, providers, you can call it, to get their knowledge base into Cisco IQ more than, Cisco IQ will know about Cisco products mostly, right?
We're taking a crawl, walk, run approach. Right now we're very proud. We just went GA about a month ago. We've already got almost 2,000 customers onboarded.
Oh, that's nice.
But we're starting with management of the Cisco estate. But what I will say is that we've published a very rich API framework that customers can use to integrate into other platforms like a ServiceNow or CMDB. So we're making that information and telemetry available outside of, because we know customers aren't exclusively going to use Cisco.
Oh yeah, I did see that send to ServiceNow button in one of the demos. Like it's like you could send whatever you found to ServiceNow. That's cool. So you will add more like integrations.
As again, we're also doing we're going to be doing this in the next several months. We're actually about to EFT this, but partner delivered versions of that as well, so that they can again build value-added services on top of it.
That's awesome. I mean, it's the age of partnership and ecosystems. One of the things I usually talk about in my sort of circles and my viewers, I think like that, is the sort of practitioner's point of view. So, like I usually say, to outcompete your competition, you have to out-educate the market.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have to train the practitioners on your technologies, in this case troubleshooting, installing, configuring, and all that stuff. So in that case, any of the tooling and or educational services, or even in this case, Cisco IQ, you think that will help the practitioners equip themselves like more with the knowledge of the product and or be better practitioners and save time and get better at their jobs, kind of stuff?
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely do, and for a couple of reasons. One, I mean, again, there's no a substitute for understanding.
Yeah.
So again, understanding how networks work and things such as that's always going to be critical. But there's a lot of esoteric, things that happen. So one of the things that I think really makes IQ stand out is the ability to interface in natural language. Mm-hmm. So literally, I can just go into the system and type a prompt and say, tell me how many Catalyst 9300s I have in my environment. Okay. Not only will it create that report, it'll tell me exactly where they are, it'll tell me the code versions they're on, and there's even a click to export to Excel or click to export to PowerPoint. So I think what that does is you don't always know the command to run, but you know what you're looking for. So that gives you the ability to, again, simplify that day-to-day operation, and again, arm them with more, proactive guidance. So I think in fact of that, and then the dynamic recommendations engine. Yeah. So for instance, we uncover I mentioned that security vulnerability, and when you discover one, you go in, you have this many critical vulnerabilities, you click on it, shows you the devices, click on one of those affected devices, it'll tell you the vulnerability, the CVEs that it matched on, as well as the recommended actions. Upgrade, turn off this feature. If you click turn off this feature, here are the commands to run. Oh, yeah. So again, it'll allow a more junior engineer a level of competence to be able to make those changes, because again, you've got a co-pilot there that's helping you out along the way.
Yeah, so distilled knowledge, actually, that's what AI gives us, is a distilled knowledge base, like it's highly compressed information, right? Yeah. So it gives you all the answers you're looking for. All right, Eric, so that's the Cisco IQ side of things. That you also handle the professional services. If you don't mind sharing about if you can share the size of the effort or how many people are working there. If you don't want to say that, that's fine. Oh. But like how the professional services are evolving with the advent of your product line, modernizing it, infusing AI into it, and also touch upon the Cisco IQ side of things when you are doing these professional service engagements and a partner engagement. If you can weave that into that would be great.
Of course. I mean, it's a great question. So again, I view my team's role in bringing Cisco technology to life, getting the time to value reduced, and ultimately helping our customers, as I mentioned earlier, install it, run it, optimize it. So there's a set of professional, what I would call subscription services that we use to continue to care and feed and maintain and strategically advise our customers as to how to best run their networks. And then there's implementation services. One area that is really, really exciting right now that we're seeing a tremendous amount of excitement and uptick and interest from our customers is doing network as code. So again, if you think about when I started in this industry, it was config T, EN, config T, what have you. Yeah. And again, that just doesn't scale in a world where customer networks are expanding dramatically. We could talk about IoT expansion, mobile expansion. Let's not even get into what have the remediations we're going to have to try for Mythos. But what network as code allows us to do is to deploy networks very, very quickly based on known best practices, configuration standards, and is leveraging open source things like Jinja templates or what have you, so that I can take the amount of time it takes from days to hours to even minutes. You think about a standard branch rollout. Yeah. I need wireless expertise, I need switching expertise, I need routing expertise, I need SD-WAN expertise, potentially security expertise. Those aren't all in the same person. Right? It's a lot of different skills. So if I can digitize that knowledge base it off of best practices, not only can I deploy that branch faster within minutes, but I can actually do testing and validation while I'm doing it. Yeah. So you leave on Friday night, old network, come in Monday morning, new network, and I have guarantees of what that user experience will be like because I've tested every possible scenario. Oh, nice, yeah. So we're doing that type of agentic delivery at scale. We're partnering very, very closely with the BUs to do things such as branch as code, as one, network as code. We actually started this with, I would say, one of our more complicated, and a technology you're going to be very familiar with, ACI, was the first area we saw that. So what that allows us to do is tell the customer, yes, we can deliver with this level of certainty, and we know exactly what that user experience will be like when the network is turned up. So that's one example of how we're evolving. And it's really exciting.
It's exciting, actually. Infrastructure as code, I know Cisco has been working on it, on those efforts, like you guys started, like 3-4 years back, maybe longer than that. So it's part of that sort of effort, if you will. They're taking it to all levels of Cisco product lines, if you will, right? And on top of that, I think just not only the scripting part, you have to do the APIfication of it, right? So SDKs, APIs, and
this is where AI is so much more powerful, because if you just script, right? Maybe and there's a mistake, you're just making a mistake that much faster, right? Whereas what this does is it actually takes agentic capabilities. It actually is leveraging AI. Even when you fat finger the config file or the template, it's going to be like, I think you meant this, and catch it. And that's one of the aspects of this continuous verification and validation that's part of that as code deployment. So even if the human makes a mistake, the system's going to catch it.
System will catch it. Actually, on that note, when you say like it will fix those things, there was you guys were talking from the main stage today, from the keynote, about digital twins, right?
Yes.
So you can sort of virtually test the environments and play with it, and roll out some, like a patch, and then say how it will behave. So is that being rolled out through the professional services, or you guys are sort of nibbling on it, or? That's
something that's part of the things we're considering. I wouldn't say we have full digital twin capabilities yet, but Liz likes to say this, and I think it's actually pretty catchy, is like, we like to turn config chaos into config certainty. And if you think about it, like back to, if you look at all the outages, and again, we have access to all the TAC data, over, I think it's 47% of P1 outages, which is, again, the sky's on fire, right? Are somehow involve a configuration change. And it's not because it's not because human beings aren't good at this. It's because these networks are increasingly complex and interconnected, and so the ability to understand the impact of a change before you make it, because you're able to see the running state, not the configured state, is huge. And that's again, back to that as code approach that we're taking, we can do.
Actually, and at the end of the day, people are talking about here, we are in the part of the analyst sort of sessions. There was a multiple analysts talking about the security with your security leaders. And somebody talked about the token economics and all that stuff. And the question was about like how the security impacts the economics of tokens, and I call it, it's like the security economics, right? It's like economics of security, right? Because at the end of the day, what we are trying to do is like run our system cheaper, faster, better, and securer, right? So that, I mean, what you guys are bringing to the table, it helps in all those areas. I think ultimately it reduces the TCO, right?
Reduces the TCO, but it also reduces the amount of time that we go from planning to production. And I think that's what's key. I mean, and again, in a post Mythos world, that time is money is security.
Well, with that said, any departing words, Eric, you want to give to my viewers?
No, well, first, thank you so much for the opportunity. It's really been an enjoyable conversation. But I would just say is we're really entering a really, I think, exciting time in this industry, where speed and certainty are really, really critical. And I think the roadmap that we're laying out here at Live, again, between what we announced today with the incredible innovations of Cisco Cloud Control, and then what we're going to talk about later with IQ, just a really, really great synergy of meeting our customers where they need us right now, and helping guide through. So I'm really, really excited to see what the next, we talk again next Live, what we'll be talking about then, and just the changes we'll see.
With that said, thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to another opportunity to talk to you, hopefully before the next Live.
Hopefully too, yes. But,
thank you so much, my friend. And thanks, folks, for watching, and stay tuned for more. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Went smooth.